Hello, brilliant people. So, you failed. Now what? So, it may sound strange, but failure actually gives you a number of opportunities. I can actually think of 5. So, I'm going to go through them today and we'll see if we can turn that around. Essentially, failure is really just a stepping stone. It's like before you correct a mistake, it's a mistake. Once you've corrected a mistake, it's a learning opportunity. Failure is similar. So the first thing that failure teaches you is it actually shows up how you're thinking about things. When you fail at something, your souffle falls or you don't meet your target, whatever it is, the thing is, the way that you react to it, it tells you a lot about your thinking. Because if you tend to have that right-wrong thinking, you are going to beat the stuffing out of yourself. You're going to make yourself wrong. You're going to make yourself feel miserable about that failure. But if you think in systems thinking, so systems thinking is simply when we're focused on our outcome and we understand that all we need to do is keep correcting towards it, and then we're going to get there eventually. It's just a matter of time. So if you have systems thinking, your response tends to be more like, oh, well, that sucks, because failure does suck, let's face it. So when you say, well, that sucks, right, what do I need to do to correct? Because when you have systems thinking, to you, failure is just feedback. Failure just tells you, well, you're not on track yet. Which, of course, is the second thing that failure teaches you. It tells you that you're off track, so you need to get back on track. So it gives you an opportunity to learn how to correct your path. And in many ways, mistakes or failures are not important. What is important is how fast you can correct, because that's the thing that's really going to shorten the path from where you are to where you want to be. So the more you can learn about how you can correct, because those corrections tend to be fairly consistent, the things that you need to do to correct. So the clearer you are on being able to recognize that you're off track, that yes, that was a failure, and figuring out how to get back on track, that's really valuable information. So that's the second thing that failure teaches you, how to correct your path. And of course, the third thing that failure teaches you is it gives you an opportunity to really reassess what matters to you. Because failure sucks, as we've established. And so when you have failed, it gives you a moment to pause and really ask yourself, does this mean enough to me? Because if it sucks, that means there is an emotional cost to that. And the truth is, of course, you might fail a few more times before you actually succeed. So it's going to be harder to keep going, and which is, of course, why a lot of people stop. But if we're clear that it matters enough to us, we will keep going. So when you fail, it gives you a moment to really reflect on why this matters. And when you focus on why this matters, which is the third thing, and you get clearer on that, it actually means that you can work on the fourth thing, which is about adjusting the exchange. When we're working towards something, and a big something, so that there is the risk of failure, there is an exchange, because we're putting in all this effort, we're putting in all our time, there's an opportunity cost in that, like all the other things that we could be doing. there is a cost. Sometimes the cost is actually financial as well, if we're going to courses or doing whatever. So all of that, we need to look at that and go, okay, so if this matters enough to me, I still want it to be a good exchange though. I want, however much it costs me to get to my eventual success, I want there to be a good exchange. I want to get more out of it than what I've put into it. So what can I do to not just correct my path, not just remind myself that this really matters to me, but what can I do to make the path easier and more graceful so that I can actually reduce the cost of what it is, of my eventual success. And of course, everything that failure teaches you is about gaining more resources so that it is easier to create your success. So those resources might be around getting help. It might be because you've reconsidered your path and so you have a new strategy. So that might be getting more actual like financial resources, or as I said, help. So, or there might be that before your final success, you might need to sort of create something new in order to facilitate your final success, because creativity is definitely a resource. So the more you look at those 5 things, the more you will find that your failures definitely do help you towards your eventual success. So remember those 5 things, and as always, remember that you're brilliant.